I went and started exploring all the different things that I wanted to create for myself, to define who I am, to figure out what I like and what I dislike. Because when you live in with a relationship with somebody, if you don't have that, I guess, strong core, when you don't do things for yourself, you might lose your identity in the process. Yes, you finish each other's sentences and you kind of in sync with your person, but you still have to do your own thing.
You are listening to the Midlife with Courage podcast. This is where women in midlife come for inspiration, motivation, and sometimes a little education. Remember to hit that follow button so that you don't miss an episode. Now let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Midlife with Courage. I am Kim Benoy, your host. Today I have the lovely Irina Shiho with us, and I hope I did say that right. Welcome to the podcast, Irina.
Thank you so much for having me, Kim.
I'm really excited to share your story with the listeners. So why don't you first just tell us where in the world you are and what you do?
Yes, so I'm in New York, and what I do is I help women over 40 reclaim their life. For women who feel that they're no longer in a relationship and they feel stuck, they feel there is no way out, this is whom I help. Women who want to be happy again.
That's a wonderful mission. First, we're going to talk about you. Why don't you tell us about a time in your life when you felt courageous or you showed courage?
There was many moments, I guess, but the first one is when I decided to make a decision where I was living wasn't working and I wanted to change. I think that's the first courageous step. And then this happened when I was standing on a train platform. And I missed the train by mere seconds when I realized, and it was a kind of the feeling of daily commute, daily rush, always running, dropping kids at two different places, and then running to catch the train to work. And so one day when I missed this train, I started sobbing and crying because every day I felt like I was getting closer to my death. Well, I didn't feel like I was living. I'm still a single parent, and it was just this miserable roller coaster day in and day out. I didn't feel like I was living, and I guess maybe identity loss as well, because
Sure.
outside of being someone else's mom and someone else's spouse, who I was, I no longer knew. So on that fateful morning, I made a decision that I wanted to change. I didn't know how, I didn't know what, but I decided that we don't just come here on earth to suffer, that there is so much more to this thing we call life, and I wanted to discover what happiness looks like. I wanted to be happy again. So that was first courageous step, and with that, taking responsibility for your life, for the good, the bad, and the ugly. The
Yeah.
experiences and choices that we make in the past is what we are currently living today. So yeah, I made mistakes, and accepting those and then stepping forward, choosing what you can create, because we all always have the power to choose. We have this amazing opportunity, amazing power of choice, really, because
Yes.
life is going to happen no matter what you do. But it's how you respond to what happens that what charts the trajectory of anybody's life.
Right, right. So let's talk about that. Whatever you're wanting to share, we're comfortable sharing with us about your life. How did you get to that point where that was it? Like something needs to change. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So I became a single parent to a newborn and a 5-year-old practically overnight, and I thought I was doing everything right. I was a good wife, pleasing others, never arguing. I didn't want to argue. I wanted to stay out of conflict as much as possible. And so when everything happened, I experienced that loss of the idea. You know how we have this concept in our head, how we are living our life. You know, you grow up, you go to school, you start a career, you get a family, you get your 1.5 humans and dogs,
Yeah, you
get a
check off all
house,
the boxes.
check off the boxes, yes. And then that idea in your head, you are so, in your real life, it's like they are so dissociated, what you have imagined and what you are living. And when that happens, I felt at a loss. I felt like I didn't know what was going on. Everywhere I looked, I saw happy, complete families. And here I was this single parent figuring out what my new normal is. I did attend sessions with psychologists, but they didn't help. I could never understand how a guy who has complete family and everything is great in his life, and he was saying, "Oh, since you don't drive a Mercedes and you don't wear Gucci bags, you're gonna be okay. Like, just carry on with your life." So I felt so much worse when I was leaving his office than when I was coming in. So for
Oh,
myself, what helped me personally is, you know, taking care of myself, taking care of my physical health. But to counteract, I guess, the psychology part of it, I started taking singing lessons. And
oh,
singing is what kind of allowed me to sing what I couldn't speak, because sometimes we can't even name the emotions we are feeling, but it's so much easier to express them in a song. I also joined Toastmasters, which allowed me to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
yeah.
So it's so important to release our emotions, to release how we are feeling and being. And then I started taking care of that was after. But the dark period, what happened, when I became a single parent, constant blame, constant regurgitating and being on that negative train wagon. What did
Mm-hmm.
I do? What did I do to deserve this? Why am I being punished? Why is life so unfair? Why is everybody so, like, what did I do? I thought I was doing everything right,
Yeah.
checking the boxes,
Yep.
pleasing the people. But meanwhile, it didn't matter.
Yeah. I love that you turned to singing. Is there a reason why? Because to me, music is such a wonderful way to, first of all, just release emotions. It's maybe that's what you were doing, but why music? Why singing?
Well, I always wanted to sing, and
Okay.
never kind of went in that direction.
Yeah.
Um, but I called on my quest on rediscovering who I am and what makes me me.
Hmm.
I wanted to go and explore different things. So Toastmasters,
And
singing.
Toastmasters.
I also did dancing, Argentine tango dancing,
Oh.
and what else? Painting. So I went and started exploring all the different things that I wanted to create for myself, to
Hmm.
define who I am, to
Hmm.
figure out what I like and what I dislike. Because
Yeah.
when you live in with a relationship with somebody, if you don't have that, I guess, strong core, when you don't do things for yourself, you might lose your identity in the process.
Hmm.
Yes, you finish each other's sentences and you kind of in sync with your person, but you still have to do your own thing so
Hmm.
that you can maintain your core identity, who you are. And when somebody comes into your life or leaves your life, you're still going to be okay because you have your core identity, who you are, you know what you stand for, you know what your beliefs are, you know what makes you. And the other person that's in your life, yeah, it's like a cherry on top, but they don't define who you are. They are not the reason you are happy. They're not the reason you wake up in the morning and feel excited. You got to feel excited for yourself, for your own
Yes.
well-being, and not because somebody, like, you have this amazing job or there is a new house or there is the new person that comes. You got to maintain your own level of happiness. I'm not saying unicorns and rainbows, by
Yeah.
having that kind of stability and knowing, how, I don't know if you drink coffee, but you know how to
Oh yeah.
make a perfect cup of coffee for yourself. You
Hmm.
know all the ingredients, the right temperature, the right amount of, I don't know, sugar if you like, or
Yeah.
whatever it is, but you know how to make a perfect cup of coffee. We
Hmm.
also have tools that allow us to create that happiness level.
Hmm.
So many tools, like meditation, like gratitude, like forgiveness, like doing something that sets your soul on fire every day for 10 minutes or more. So
Yeah.
there are many tools in the tool belt that we can utilize to create the experience that we want to have on planet
Right.
Earth, in this
You,
body.
yeah, and we'll talk about those tools here in a little bit and how you help other women do this. Now, I love that you go within yourself. It's not the outside world isn't responsible for for your happiness, really. And you didn't mention your kids and all of that, which I love because you have to the number one theme of this whole podcast, if I go back and look at all the guests I've had, you have to take care of yourself first before you can care for others.
Yeah,
And moms know that. We don't know it as young mothers probably, but we'd learn that, don't we?
totally.
You had two young kids and you came to this conclusion or this. this awakening. Would you call it an awakening?
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm sure it wasn't easy. I mean, right now we're talking about, yes, we do this and we look in this, but I'm sure there were times when it was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing?
totally. I didn't know what I was doing. I
Yeah.
just started being curious instead of being reactive, reflective. I started being
Ah,
curious about life and listening to podcasts, listening to audiobooks and different routines. So my my mentors were Mel Robbins. I love her analogy, how she was at the bottom of her life and like a rocket ship getting out of bed, imagining that idea.
yeah.
And we always have 5 seconds before we can talk ourselves out of making a decision or making a choice. So
Hmm.
listening to that, being open to that. And then I was listening to a series of other podcasts that kind of led me. I started playing around with nutrition. I became a vegetarian overnight.
Oh,
Simply, I am no longer am a vegetarian, but at that point in my life, I became more adventurous in the kitchen by
yeah.
examining what this thing is all about. And I lost 10 pounds as a result, although it was not my intent. My intent was simply, I want to take care of myself because there is nobody coming to rescue me. There is nobody coming. I gotta be my own cheerleader. And
Yeah.
so that's how that kind of started.
Okay. So, do you think how you hit that wall and you refound your purpose and your joy, do you think that would have happened if you would have still been married?
No, I
No.
don't think we ever ask ourselves where life is going unless it matches the template we have in our head of what life is supposed to be.
Uh,
So I
yeah.
don't think we ever ask ourselves, where is our life going? Are we doing everything we want to create the life? Because we just, I guess, do the daily repetitious things day
Hmm.
in and day out, you know, your day to day stuff.
Yeah.
And if nothing jugs this, if everything is going according to plan, according to
Your
expectation,
plan.
we never will ask where our life is going. Yeah, maybe when we retire, we're gonna sit down. It's like, did I do everything I wanted with this life? Am I
Hmm.
happy about what I did? Or am I regretting the choices that I make? But when something jugs, when something happens, when an unfortunate, any kind of a loss that happens that shifts our worldview, shifts how we see the world, then we're gonna ask ourselves, where am I going? What am I doing?
Hmm.
And of course, when some like a loss event occurs, we are in this deep darkness, deep despair. And you
Hmm.
know how they say you cannot really appreciate the light if you have not felt the darkness. You cannot appreciate the sun have you not experienced the rain. So
Yes.
when you're in that deep dark moment, it's difficult to see anything other than what is here and what is not working. So a
Hmm.
first way to start breaking out of that, we can start to appreciate the things that are working, practicing gratitude, simple things that we take for granted. The
Hmm.
fact that I'm speaking with you today, the fact that I can see and hear you,
Yeah.
little trivial things,
Yeah.
but we don't appreciate until those are taken away. I
Right.
didn't care for walking so much until I dislocated my knee. I'm totally fine and
Oh.
clear now. But ever since that time, this was in 21, it's been 4 years. There has not been a single day that when I walk, I say thank you, my niece, for walking. Yes, might sound silly, but
Hmm.
it's those little micro things that if they're working, appreciate them.
Yeah.
Because what you appreciate appreciates. And our mind is such an amazing tool. It will suddenly give you suggestions for what else is working in your life. So you might realize it's not only 3 things or 4 things, but there are many, many more things that you were previously overlooking. So
Hmm.
gratitude is a powerful tool to start your way on your road to recovery from
Yeah.
any situation.
Yeah, I think that's true. That would be your first step, wouldn't it? Just, okay, all these horrible things are going on. Okay, what is the one thing I can be thankful for? And yeah, just finding there's always something. There's always something. The fact that you're upright and breathing,
Yes.
number one. So I love it when my guests help serve others, especially women. how did that come about? How did you decide, you know what? I was able to pull myself out of this and find new joy and new purpose, and now I want to help others. How did you come to that decision?
Yes. So I was in Phoenix, Arizona in September 2019, and I was inspired by Evan Carmichael, who said there is not enough belief in this world today, and you should help somebody who is a step behind you. So this is when I decided
Ah,
to help women like myself who felt lost, who have loss of identity, who think that the best years of their life is over,
mm,
which is nothing further from the truth,
nope.
that we can create so much more. So this was in Phoenix, Arizona, September 2019.
Oh, you got the exact day and everything. I love it. So you tell us about what you do then. I know you've got two podcasts and you want to talk about those and tell us what else you do.
Sure. I have 2 podcasts, 7 books, and 1 YouTube channel.
Oh my gosh, you're not just sitting around doing nothing. Irina's busy.
Yes. The whole idea for the podcast, first one is single parent success stories, and it's to bring hope to single parents by sharing tools, tips, and techniques to allow them to thrive. I speak to past and present single parents as well as experts to help navigate the post-divorce journey. And I also speak to adult children who grew up in a single parent home to help share experiences to what it was like so that parents who are raising kids now can listen to that and maybe
Oh my
change
gosh.
something
That is such a
along the way.
that's a great avenue to take because you don't really think about that unless you're, in that situation, like the adult kids of single parents.
Yes,
That's
yes.
amazing. Yeah.
And the second podcast is called Reclaim Your Life with Irina. This is for people who had a wake-up call that suddenly changed trajectory of their life for the better,
Hmm.
whether they have a new appreciation for life or they decided to lose weight. The goal again for this podcast is also to bring back hope. No matter how difficult the situation, you can always come out. There are always tools. And
Yeah.
then my books, the latest one is called The Gift Inside. It's
Ah,
12 steps to heal unworthiness, brokenness, and victim mentality so that you can find your happy. In here, I'm sharing, this is my first solo book. The other ones I did contributions.
okay.
But in this one I'm sharing, I believe we are holistic beings and we operate in physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual state of being. So I'm sharing habits, 3 habits per state in the book that allow one to thrive if we practice
Okay.
them. And those are simple things like gratitude, meditation, forgiveness,
Okay.
being happy, choosing to be present. We oftentimes somewhere else, we are not here
Hmm.
now. So
Yeah.
things like that. And then there is a YouTube channel called Happiness Academy where I share the tools, tips, and techniques on how to create your own happy by working on your mindset, your emotional release, your physical health. So doing exercises, your wellness, your morning routine, things like that. Basically personal development plus physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual health, sharing the
Wow.
tools. The 3 components of everything I do is live, dream, and grow. And live is about creating physical, emotional, mental, spiritual health, creating the foundation. Like when you build a house, you got to create a solid foundation. And
Hmm.
the second one is dream, because once you have fulfilled your health principles, you're ready to explore what it is that you wanted to create. What is the
Yeah.
dream that you have inside of you? Because no matter how old you are, you still have a 5-year-old inside of you ready to come out and play. And the dreams are always going to be there for us. They're not going to chase us. We got to chase them. And only you were
Uh,
given a specific dream, nobody else. So your friends, your relatives, they may not get what you're doing.
oh
But
well.
it doesn't matter because you were given that dream. And finally, the third component is growth, about continuous evolution and growth, how we learn about ourselves, learn about the world, so that we can evolve on this spiral of life. Because we
Yeah.
constantly change actually every 6 months. And you might look back and the
Hmm.
problems you were having 6 months ago, you probably laugh at them now because, like, why was it even a problem? I
Yeah.
can just solve it. Now I have something
That's
bigger
nothing.
to deal with. So that's the scope of what I do. And I also do coaching,
Hmm.
monthly community, one-on-one group coaching. And
Okay.
yes,
Is it mostly women or is it all women?
mostly
Is
women.
that who you went? Okay. I noticed you have a morning ritual or ideas for women in the morning. And that's something that I've been doing, but I realized I just started working with a business coach. And what I realized was I wanted to look at my time, how I spent my time every day. And my morning, my morning ritual was way too long. I mean, I have to let the dogs out and do all that. But then I'm going to have my coffee and I'm going to journal and I'm going to, do this and that. And I'm like, I'm spending 2 hours in the morning doing this. This is not okay. So
Who says? Who says it's not okay if it's
I
working
say it's
for you?
not okay because it really wasn't working because I was
Okay.
getting pulled into those little things and I was just avoiding what I really needed to get done.
Okay.
But I still think it's very important to do a morning ritual, if we want to call it that. So now, it's maybe an hour, hour and a half. So it's a little shorter, but it's more focused. So tell us about that and the importance of that for you.
Yes, it's actually the first chapter of my book, The Gift Inside,
Oh,
Morning
okay.
Routine.
Awesome.
What I say is what I believe. It doesn't matter when you wake up, it's how you wake up, it's what you do for yourself,
Hmm.
how you feed yourself. So feed not just what you put in your mouth, what you put in your ears, your eyes. In
Yeah.
the morning, you gotta flood your senses with all the positive things when you wake up.
Hmm.
You gotta first practice gratitude. So when I get out of bed, the first thing I say, what are 3 things I'm grateful for, and that I'm gonna have an awesome day, no matter what.
Yeah. Love it.
That's the beginning. And
Number
then I
one.
take myself out for a walk. And during my walk, I will listen to audiobooks and podcasts that are motivational, that are inspiring, that are, good for you, good for
Yeah.
me. And
Right.
then after I come back, it's like you spend the time for yourself, but you are worth spending time on yourself.
Yes,
You're
you are
taking
worth.
care of you. Suddenly, when you do those things, you come back. Then I do like a 5-minute Tabata, which is the high intensity workout.
Okay.
It's designed to get your heart racing. And then I'll get a green smoothie or some
Oh,
other smoothie after that. Then there is
okay.
a little bit of journaling. And I feel like it also reading because I'm listening like the audiobook, but sometimes I also do physical reading.
Sure.
But that's kind of it. Oh, and singing, 10 minutes of singing.
Yes, I love it.
Because doing something that sets your soul on fire. So I do singing for me. That makes me happy. No matter if I feel sad or upset, as soon as I sing, I feel already better. So
Love
it's
it.
your own pick me up that you don't need a coach for, you don't need to go somewhere. It's you and you. You're taking care of you,
It's
doing
it's
things
you.
that, just like a perfect cup of coffee, you have the ingredients to create a perfect kind of day because you know what you love.
Hmm.
Some people are great 15-minute morning routine. Some people need an hour. Some people need 2 hours, 3 hours. It's whatever after you're done after that, if you feel amazing, if you feel like you can take on the day, then it's fine. If you need 15 or
Yeah.
minutes or 2 hours, there is no judgment because that's
Right.
something that's working in your life. So
Awesome.
creating like a perfect cup of coffee, creating a perfect way to start your day.
Yes. Love it. So where can people find you if they want to know more about you or maybe get your books, I
Yes.
should say?
My website is Irina Shekhovtsov, SHEHOVSOV.com. And there you can find everything. Then YouTube channel is Happiness Academy _
Okay.
My books are all available on Amazon, and the podcasts, Single Parent Success Stories and Reclaim Your Life with Irina, are on all the audio podcasting platforms.
Awesome. All right. And all of that is on your website. So if they just went to your
Yes,
website, they would find everything, right?
they will. Yes.
Perfect. Okay. I was on there earlier, so I kind of know that, but I just want to make sure. So Irina, this has been such a lovely conversation and good for you. I love what you're doing. Before we say goodbye, is there any one last little message you want to leave with the listeners?
Believe in yourself no matter what, you still have the power to write what comes next. The stories that we tell ourselves are the catapult that can either sink us or let us get to the next level.
Beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much, Irina. I hope that I will get to talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for listening to the Midlife with Courage podcast. If you liked what you heard, I would love it if you would leave a review. Or even better, Send a link of this episode to a friend. Until next time, take care of your beautiful self.